Alexander Jeffrey Pretti, known to friends and family simply as Alex, was a 37-year-old American intensive care nurse whose life and death became a flashpoint in one of the most turbulent moments in recent U.S. history. On January 24, 2026, Pretti was fatally shot by United States Border Patrol agents in Minneapolis, Minnesota, during protests sparked by a sweeping federal immigration crackdown. His killing, captured on multiple videos and witnessed by dozens of civilians, ignited outrage across the country and intensified scrutiny of federal law enforcement operations in American cities. Pretti's death came less than 3 weeks after another fatal shooting by federal agents in Minneapolis, the killing of Renée Good on January 7. Together, the incidents fueled mass demonstrations and sharpened public debate over the use of force, civil liberties, and the role of federal agencies in local communities. For many, AlexPretti's story was especially haunting, not only because of how he died, but because of who he was. Born in Illinois, Pretti grew up in the Midwest and graduated from Preble High School in Green Bay, Wisconsin, in 2006. Those who knew him described him as thoughtful, intelligent, and deeply committed to helping others. Early in his professional life, Pretti worked as a research scientist, a path that reflected his analytical mind and academic curiosity. However, he eventually felt drawn to more direct, hands-on service. That calling led him to the University of Minnesota, where he completed his studies in 2011 and became a registered nurse. By the time of his death, Pretti was an experienced intensive care nurse at the United States Department of Veterans Affairs Hospital in Minneapolis. His work placed him on the front lines of medical crises, caring for critically ill patients, many of them military veterans, during some of the most vulnerable moments of their lives. He held an active nursing license issued in 2021 and was a dues-paying member of the American Federation of Government Employees, the union representing federal workers. Colleagues and neighbors consistently described Pretti as calm, compassionate, and nonviolent. Law enforcement records showed no serious criminal history, only minor traffic citations from years earlier. He was a lawful gun owner and possessed a valid Minnesota concealed carry permit, something that later became a central and controversial element of official narratives surrounding his death. Those close to him insisted that gun ownership did not define him, service did. In early January 2026, following the killing of Renée Good, Pretti began participating in protests opposing federal immigration enforcement actions in Minneapolis. His involvement was not rooted in aggression but in concern. According to his family, Pretti believed strongly in accountability, transparency, and the protection of human dignity. His father later recalled warning him to be careful while attending demonstrations, warnings that, tragically, proved prophetic. On the morning of January 24th, at approximately 9:05 a.m. Central Standard Time, Pretti was present at the intersection of 26th Street and Nicollet Avenue, where federal immigration agents were conducting an operation tied to what officials later described as Operation Metro Search. Witnesses reported that agents attempted to enter a nearby business and were denied access, leading to rising tensions and calls for backup. Multiple videos show Pretti filming law enforcement officers with his phone while also helping direct traffic and assist nearby civilians. At one point, he moved toward the sidewalk to help two individuals who appeared shaken. According to eyewitnesses and video evidence, Pretti was pepper-sprayed by an agent while attempting to comfort a woman who had been pushed to the ground. As he embraced her to keep her steady, another agent shoved him, and the two fell backward together. What followed unfolded in seconds but left lasting consequences. Several agents rushed in, wrestled Pretti onto the ground, and pinned him to the sidewalk. While he was restrained, at least 10 shots were fired over roughly 5 seconds. Video analysis later showed Pretti holding a cell phone in one hand, with his other hand empty and raised. Witnesses testified that he did not brandish a weapon, nor did he attack the officers. Despite this, the Department of Homeland Security quickly released statements claiming Pretti had approached agents with a handgun and posed a lethal threat. Officials alleged he intended to cause mass harm, a claim vehemently rejected by his family, witnesses, and civil rights advocates. Two individuals who saw the shooting firsthand later testified under oath that Pretti never drew a firearm. Video show an agent pulling a gun from the scuffle after Pretti had already been pinned down. After the shooting, some agents attempted life-saving measures, including chest compressions, while medics rushed in. It was too late. AlexPretti was pronounced dead at the scene. News of the killing spread rapidly through social media and activist networks. Within minutes, more than 100 people gathered at the site, shouting at federal agents and demanding accountability. Protests escalated throughout Minneapolis and soon spread to cities across the country, including Seattle, Portland, Los Angeles, Chicago area suburbs, and New York City. Tear gas, stun grenades, and pepper spray were deployed as authorities attempted to control crowds. The political fallout was immediate. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz condemned the shooting as sickening and activated the National Guard at the request of local officials. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey called for federal operations to cease. National figures weighed in sharply, with some lawmakers describing the incident as an execution, while White House officials labeled Pretti a domestic threat before any investigation had concluded. An inquiry was launched by the Department of Justice, though controversy surrounded federal agents initially blocking local law enforcement from fully accessing the scene. As investigations continued, Pretti's parents released emotional statements, expressing both heartbreak and fury over what they described as false and dehumanizing claims about their son. Financially, AlexPretti lived modestly. As a federal intensive care nurse, his income was stable but not extravagant. Based on salary ranges for VA ICU nurses, his estimated annual earnings likely fell between $80,000 and $110,000. He did not live a lavish lifestyle, nor was he known to accumulate significant assets. At the time of his death, his estimated net worth was believed to be between $300,000, reflecting savings, retirement contributions, and personal property rather than wealth. AlexPretti's legacy is not measured in money, but in meaning. To many, he became a symbol of a citizen who stepped forward to help others, and paid the ultimate price. His death continues to shape national conversations about protest, policing, truth, and the human cost of political power. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.